Welcome back. We have been considering having an attitude of thanksgiving in our relationship with God. That attitude of thanksgiving then should be evidenced in our conversations with God, our prayer life, our time of spending time in fellowship with God in prayer. I'd like to read another psalm today, Psalm 9, verses 1 to 10, which will not at first appear to be a psalm of thanksgiving, but I think we'll see how it applies into this realm in just a moment. Psalm 9, beginning of verse 1. To the chief musician, to the tune of, quote, Death of the Sun, a psalm of David. I will praise you, O Yahweh, with my whole heart. I will tell of all your marvelous works. I will be glad and rejoice in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they shall fall and perish at your presence. For you have maintained my right and my cause. You sat on the throne judging in righteousness. You have rebuked the nations. You have destroyed the wicked. You have blotted out their name forever and ever. O enemy, destructions are finished forever, and you have destroyed cities, even their memory has perished. But Yahweh shall endure forever. He has prepared his throne for judgment. He shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall administer judgment for the peoples in uprightness. Yahweh also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, Yahweh, have not forsaken those who seek you. The word translated praise in verse 1 is better translated thank. I will thank you, O Yahweh, with my whole heart. Yet there is this thin line again between thankfulness and praise. We again praise God for the things that we are thankful for, and so that Hebrew word kind of blends the two thoughts together here. David wants to give praise or thanks to Yahweh. And note then these actions that he places together almost synonymously in the beginning of the psalm. First he says, I will praise or give thanks to you. Secondly, I will tell of all your marvelous works, because if you are thankful for what God has done, you just want to express it to everybody. I will be glad and rejoice in you. Again, if you are thankful for what God has done, you're going to be glad. You're going to have full of mirth, and you're going to be rejoicing. And then I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. And so again, as we looked at previously, that this attitude of thanksgiving is going to well up within you, and you're just going to want to sing praise to who God is, to God and for who he is. David then gives us the specific reason of why we should be thankful, why we should be welling up with this attitude of thanksgiving that will just now resound with all this praise and rejoicing and gladness. Through David, we are reminded that those who oppress us unjustly will ultimately be judged. Now that sounds like a backwards kind of concept of thanksgiving, but it's important for us to remember that, as Jesus said, blessed are you when you are persecuted for my sake. That God hasn't forsaken us. God hasn't forgotten us. That even in these times when it appears that man is oppressing us, and that there is no consequence to them for this oppression, that God still remembers us, and that he will hold man accountable. God will judge the world. His righteousness does endure forever. Though it appears at times that wicked people are increasing without any punishment, we need to remember that Yahweh has prepared his throne for judgment. We're told in Revelation 20 about the great white throne judgment of God, when all the dead, both small and great, will appear before him for judgment, according to their works. Those whose names are not written in the Lamb's book of life will be cast into the lake of fire. That Lamb's book of life, then, is full of those names of individuals who've accepted the free gift of God, of salvation, through the sacrificial death of Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish but have everlasting life. For this we can give thanks to God, for his deliverance for us, for the redemption that he has given us, for the salvation that we have through Christ. Sadly, there are many people who haven't believed. I must have compassion for those and on those who don't know Christ. As Jesus stated on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And sadly, they know not, or they reject the knowledge of, as we saw in Romans chapter 1, where they are heading, what God has decreed for those who reject his free gift of salvation. We're told that that lake of fire, that the torment that is there will be never ending. That's really hard for me to comprehend. And yet I know that it is true. And I can be assured that as I walk through this world, and as it appears in the flesh, remember we wrestle not against flesh and blood, that it appears in the flesh that these who oppress us get away with it, they will not get away with it. But sadly, they will be then punished for all of eternity. I can then be thankful for the deliverance that my God has promised me. I can take comfort and encouragement in the fact that Yahweh can be my refuge in the midst and times of trouble. He can and he will provide me the strength to bear up under the trials that he allows into my life. He has not, and he will not ever forsake his own. Give thanks to God today for who he is and what he is doing, not just what he has done, but what he is doing. And have a blessed day.